Want to see a dead rat? Story 10. Into the fire. So, in my early voyages as a psychologist, I learned that there are 4 primitive impulses for survival: fight it, fuck it, eat it, or get me the fuck out of here. Pardon my language. My distinguished professors didn't quite describe them like that, but like I said, they're primitive. Now it is 1983, and I am in my postdoctoral fellowship at a pediatric physical rehabilitation facility. Donnie is clearly in the get me the fuck out of here mode. He's 14. Paul, he's a great kid, really. That's Marie, his sister, 19 years old and now the head of the family. He's a good student, not great, but okay. But one thing, he loves basketball. It was the connection he had with his father. When he wasn't playing, he was watching it, studying it. If God had forgotten to invent either the basket or the ball, Donnie would have seen the lack and picked up the slack. And he was good, not the fastest or the tallest, but smart and a great shot. He just knew where to be and what to do. All the time. Marie starts crying, and he knew where the other team was going to be, usually before they did, and he was there. Take the hard foul, hit the floor, bounce back up, 2 shots, 2 points. But now, I don't know. You think he's going to be okay? I mean, I guess I know he'll never play ball again. But do you think he's going to be okay? Donnie has 3 younger sisters. Their mother died recently in a fire. Let's give it proper respect. The fire in the family home. Their father had died 4 years earlier, a massive stroke. Donnie is in therapy for 3rd-degree burns over 90% of his body, and 5th-degree burns, muscle and cartilage, and bone, over 20% of his body. I am his counselor. Rehabilitation for burns is demanding. Physical and occupational therapy several times a day to learn to function without fingers and toes, burned off in the fire as was his nose. Full body bandaging and facial masking to reduce red devil scarring, and Donnie is having none of it. This is a problem. Without these therapies immediately after the insult, technical term, if you ask me, this was more than hey, I bite my thumb at you, sir, insult. Without these therapies, he will likely remain totally crippled. The psychiatrist prescribes medication for depression, but there are things that medication can't fix. Donnie is also not having anything like traditional psychotherapy. I'm just beginning to learn the first principle of being a therapist, especially for a child. In fact, I can honestly say he was one of my first and best teachers. No matter how smart or clever or dedicated you are, you have to have something he or she or they want. Otherwise, get lost. He wouldn't talk about the accident, but did agree to play checkers with me. Not surprisingly, he was a very good strategist, if not enthusiastic. I was meeting with his sister to learn more about what he might want, short of not being an orphan or a burn victim, or in rehab. So far, I had basketball. I suggested the therapist focus on that, free throws with a Nerf ball while in the whirlpool. One-on-one basketball and physical therapy, I would be his opponent while his therapist monitored his balance and gait. He engaged, but listlessly and only for short periods. Now, as a rule, I feel that a person has the right to talk about, or not, what they want in therapy. Eventually, we will get where we need to, but we do not have time. The insurance company is pushing for discharge because of non-compliance. I asked his sister about the fire. It was nighttime. Me and the girls were asleep upstairs. Donnie slept in the front room downstairs by the only door. Our mom slept in the back. There was a wood-burning stove in between them. The fire started in the chimney of the stove. I get pizza and meet with Donnie. We talk about basketball. A kid named Michael Jordan is in his first season with the Bulls. When we finish eating, I ask, Donnie, can we talk about the fire? He half nods. Your sister told me about it. She said it was an accident. He nods. You woke up. You saw it. You yelled upstairs to them. They got out. You could have, but you didn't. He starts to cry. You went to save your mom. Through the fire. You pulled her out. He shrugs. Donnie, how would you feel if you had just gotten out of there? If you didn't get burned, but didn't try to save her? I would be dead by now. Right. Now this may be stupid, and I'm sorry if it is, but the burns, the scars, I know you don't want them, but they are. They show your courage, how much you loved your mother and your sisters. I don't say this to him, but one of the items on a standard intelligence test is to define courage. A correct answer is to not be afraid. The correct answer is to do it, even though you are afraid. Donnie chose to fight it over get me the fuck out of here, and he chooses to fight again. We never talk about it again, but we do come to enjoy shooting free throws, playing one-on-one. He engages more fully as a partner in his therapies. He talks about becoming an assistant coach. His high school coach asked him for his help. He's discharged, we part, and we sail on. I sail on for another 40 years and serve as navigator to many more Donnies and Johns, Tommy Laments, and Sister Mary Terribly Unhappies, Luke and Mikhails, and likely even pirates similar to the one that introduced me to the Dead Rat and the perils of life's voyage. I haven't always been the best navigator, and I'm truly sorry to say I didn't always give my best. I am on a mission to save my own soul, and I haven't always been the best at that. So it goes. But we have one last voyage to make. There's a dragon that I have to catch up on.